Hi, it's Britt and Jess, and this is another episode of Basic Banter for Witches.
Every week, we dive into topics that resonate with us on our spiritual journey. Enjoy! Hey guys, and welcome back to Basic Banter for Witches. It's Jessica again, a lovely solo episode. So sorry if that's not what you're into. I promise we will be together more often than not. This is not a regular occurrence. We don't love having to do that separately, and I miss her dearly, just so you know. So anyways, I wanted to kind of introduce our first guest formally. So I was recently over in London visiting some of my husband's family for whatever. Lots of long story, but I need wine for that conversation. Anyway, so I was visiting his family, and his uncle Ian is a medium. Yeah, so really interesting. I've got lots of stories about my interactions with him solely, but I finally had a chance to kind of sit down with him and kind of go over the nitty-gritty of his journey, kind of how he started, what he's doing now. Really interesting stuff. So anyway, so I recorded our conversation, obviously, and we've indulged in wine. So I think as the episode progresses, you can kind of tell, because it's kind of like we're talking a little slower and a little quieter. Anyways, I don't know. I get a kick out of it. I hope that's not a total, lame, awful episode preface, but it is fun. I would say it is more of a serious conversation. But this is where, we kind of get to see it through his eyes. He was a late bloomer in the terms of, his mediumship practice. I guess so anyways. Better late than never. But yeah, the way we kind of kick off right from the start there is we're just sitting down, having a glass of wine and having a chat. So I hope that, when you're listening to this, you can kind of just join us in that conversation. Grab a coffee, grab a tea, water, a glass of wine, depending on when you're listening. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time it is. But just enjoy. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you at the end of the episode. Basically, on mine and Brittany's podcast, we do interviews of all things metaphysical, but basically we find that when we bring up the subject to a lot of people, because it's, again, we're in that reawakening period, people are not totally forthcoming with their that resonance just yet, right? So it's like, I've heard, I've had those moments, and it's kind of coming into the moment of we're comfortable not admitting it, because you're not admitting, anything
Absolutely.
Wrong, but it is, it's scary. It's a new world. So we're trying to just introduce people to different, not subjects, but, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And, we've spoken to different mediums in the past and, people who have different clair abilities. But what I would like to start with you is just, because you've probably always had this gift, but you've started to nurture it later in your life. So
Absolutely.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit about...
Wasn't like some people were born with the gift.
Yeah.
And from a very early age. But the thing is, we're all... everyone's psychic. Yeah. Not everyone's a medium, but everyone's psychic. And I feel with the spirit world, people are becoming more aware of the spirit world now, because 9 times out of 10, spirit contacting you all the time. People don't realise it, and it's all through feeling, which we say clairsentience. Yeah. It's all feeling. And I suppose with myself, how I first got into it, I was 35. I'm 55 now, but I was 35, and I went and done some decorating for a woman who was a medium. Yeah. Now, I didn't even know what a medium was. That's how gullible I was at the time. And I was decorating her house, and she said, "I was want a cup of tea." So, she said, "Oh, come sit down in the kitchen." And I sat in the kitchen, and she said, "Oh, your granddad's with you." And I went, "No, he's dead." She went, "Oh, no, sorry, I'm a medium." And I, being gullible, I went, "What's a medium?" And she went, "Well, I speak to dead people," which I know now, they're not dead, they're more alive than us. Yeah. And she gave me a reading, and she told me things, what I was doing in my life, and she told me things about my granddad, which she'd never met. She'd never met me from Adam. Yeah. And I was just, how how do you know this? And it didn't spook me. It gave me comfort. It was like, wow. And it played on my mind all the way going home. And the job was meant to last 4 days, and I was there 4 weeks because it was just an amazing experience. And she taught me.
Yeah.
And she turned around, and there was one thing, because me and Nicola been together a little while, and she turned around and said, "You've got all blue and all pink around you, and all this is going to stop." And I was gutted, because she'd been teaching me for about 6 weeks, and all of a sudden Nicola fell pregnant.
Yeah.
And we had Jess, and then we had Jake straight. Yeah, so that was the blue and the pink, what she was saying. And the thing is every time I tried to get there, because I used to sit on a circle with her on a Wednesday, and she said to me, she said, "Whenever you try and get here, it's not going to happen." And she was right. Every Wednesday something come up, and I could not get round to her. I was working somewhere different, something with the family. And so I sat in a circle for about 8 weeks, and that was it. But she then had got me hook, line, and sinker. It was on my mind. But bringing up the children and the family.
It's okay, don't worry.
So like bringing up the children,
Yeah.
it was put on hold, and always interested, and like there's a TV programme I watch it, like Most Haunted, like everyone, and Colin Fry and all things like that I'd watch, but never had time to do anything. And then one day, when the children were a bit older, 8, 9, I woke up one morning and thought, I'm going to start meditating. I just thought, don't know where it came from, what put that thought in my head. And that was 2015.
Wow. So you just had, it was just what seemed right.
Yeah, it was just... But I don't know where it came from, why, for me to meditate. I'd always knew that mediumship is through meditation, for people who want to develop it.
Yeah.
Not for the people who are born with a gift, because they don't need to.
Yeah.
Because the spirit is just an automatic straight there. But if you want to develop the gift, then it's through meditation, calming the mind and calming your body. And so I built my shed out the back and made a meditation room, and for 12 months, for an hour a night, I went down, lit a candle, sat there in the silence.
Wow.
And it was like a religious thing. And I didn't hear voices, I didn't feel anything, I just sat in the quiet.
Yeah.
Your mind goes for everything, what you work in, your shopping, your family
Yes.
life. But then after a period of time, you start going down there, looking at the candle, putting a bit of music on, whatever you feel comfortable and quiet. And you always say your prayer to Spirit when you first start. You tell them what you want to do and what time you're going to be there, so they know to work with you.
Fair, that's great. Kind of giving them making a
it's
date of it,
making
or
a connection with them.
Commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you do a commitment in the relationship. And so, I said to them, I'm going to come down in 9 till 10 every night and help me. And I've done that for a whole year. And then I didn't think I was getting anything, but I was more calmer person.
Yeah.
I was seeing more things more clearly, which I didn't realise then until now, how it all worked. And then I went up to the local spiritual church after a year, and I sat in there, and the medium up on the stage come straight to me. Again, brought my granddad in to give me evidence, and then turned around and said, "You're going to be up here one day." And I went, "What?" I went, "You're going to be very good, you're going to be up here." And again, you just think, oh, wow. But then at the end of the service, the person of the church come up and said to me, "Have you ever thought about sitting in circle?" And I went, "Well, I've done it 15 years ago for a little while." And they said, "Well, we'd do it up here on a Wednesday."
Yeah.
So I went, "Oh, okay, I'll think about coming up." But it was really weird because that was a Sunday night. And when I went down in my meditation room and sat down and started meditating, So I'm talking to you as clear in my head. A voice just went Thursday. And it was the first experience I had, and I thought, did I say that? You know, was that in my head, or did I hear that? You know, that was all I got Thursday. And I had that for a whole week of meditating. Every time I was meditating and going in, I got Thursday. And I thought, Thursday? What's going on Thursday? And when Thursday come, I went down and meditate. I just got Thursday. So the following week, I thought, right, I've got to suss this out. So I went to the spiritual church on the Wednesday.
Very good, yeah.
Sat in their open circle, and that's if you want to develop your mediumship. Sat in the circle and with the teacher, and they welcome you and do, you know, tell you what it's all about, and then they pair you up and start working. Anyway, I'd done that for a few weeks, which was really interesting. It was opening my eyes up to colour and tarot cards and, you know, the angel cards, and which I, you know, had no crystals, had no idea. And anyway, after about 3 weeks, the teacher came up to me and she went, Ian, you're more advanced than what you think you are. And I went, what are you talking about? She went, you don't realise it yet, she said, but you can't work with all these people. You're more advanced. She said, I do a closed circle for advanced mediums on a Thursday.
You were a day early.
She went, will you join us?
Yeah.
And I went, wow. I went, okay. And it dawned on me when I got home, Thursday, that's why he was giving me Thursday for that week, Thursday. And then I never heard it again.
Yeah.
And so I carried on doing my normal meditation, started going up on the Thursday, developing, finding out more about spirit. And then I woke up one Saturday morning, really early, and as I'm talking to you, it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. As I opened my eyes, I heard 2 people talking as if they was in the room.
Yeah.
And one turned around and said, he can hear you. And the other one said, he just needs confidence.
Oh.
And that was it.
And that was it.
I've never heard voices like that again.
Yeah.
It was just like, you know, I woke up before I should have or whatever, you know, and it was...
Before we move past that, so because, you know, you've got your way of communicating with spirit now, that is a different voice.
That was actual 2 spirit people talking about me.
So it could be, because your spirit, your guide, your specific, your spirit.
And that's what I feel it was.
Yeah, it was
my guides.
your guides.
Yeah. Because we have more than one guide. You have your main guide.
Exactly.
You have your doorkeeper who looks after you. And I thought, you know, and I thought, well, did I, you know, again, is it my imagination? Because you do, you know. Or was that... And so when I went back down, meditate, because you read the books and it always says about if you want to develop it, calm your mind, breathe in.
Exactly.
And so I was meditating and I kept asking, was that my guide? Was that my guide? You know, so I started meditating because there's so many different ways to meditate.
Yes.
Calming the mind is the first key to mediumship. Yeah. Calming your body and your mind. Then when you start learning and getting that confidence and that trust, which is most important, trusting, and you're trusting the unknown. Yeah. You know, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah, we talk a lot about ego.
Absolutely.
Interfering with everything that we think is, you know, it's the doubt, self-doubt. It will always get you.
I mean... when I'm up demonstrating, don't get me wrong, I've been doing it now for 5 years. Not a long time. No. But I still get nervous. But I work on that nervous energy. Yeah, I work on that as a build-up, that nervousness. I use that. It's a human instinct to get nervous. Yeah. You know, because you know, how can you be confident getting up there hoping you know spirit there because you believe it? Mm. But it's still that chance of getting up there and having nothing being dried up with all that audience looking at you. Yeah. So that nervousness, I work with it. Yeah. You know, if I don't feel that nervousness, I get worried. Yes. Because I think the energy's not building up.
You're right.
You know?
So the energy, whatever it is,
yeah,
it's still...
this is only through my personal
Yes.
experience. You know, everyone else will find their own way
Mm-hmm.
of developing. Because I know some wonderful mediums who don't believe in meditation and just get up there and do amazing stuff. You know, but you know,
Although meditation can look so different to each person. 'Cause
absolutely.
meditating for some is, of course, you know, you've got your man shed and you've got your,
Yeah,
you know, your the way you've set it up
exactly.
for yourself.
Yeah.
But then for me, my meditation is like, I call it putzing.
Yeah.
I literally tinker around the house. I might be doing dishes. I might be, you know, I'm.
Yeah, everyone's different. I mean, like, because being a mum, full-time mum and that, it's really hard. I mean, because you've got so much going on in your life
Yeah.
with children and everything, and your way to meditate is being in your own thoughts when you've got your own time.
Yeah.
But Spirit know that. Spirit work with that.
Mhm.
And I mean, with myself, when I'm at work, like today, I've been working all day, and all I've done all day is think about my evening, but still working. But Spirit know that,
Yeah.
and they stand back a little bit.
Yeah.
And they, you know, we're not going to let you down. They're there.
We're here. Yeah.
And like tonight, as you see,
Absolutely.
I was in that back room thinking, trying to get a link.
Yeah.
In the early days, when I first started, I used to get a link. I used to feel the person, like yourself, standing next to me.
Yeah.
And I could feel the shape of the person, the colour of their hair, I could feel everything.
Yeah.
But they develop you for that for so long, and then they take it all away. Now, when I first started doing platform, because I'm going to jump a little bit backwards and forwards,
I just
if
love
that's
it. It's
okay.
great. Don't worry.
So when I first started doing platform, I would stand on platform and I would feel the person coming my over. So I would know if they was large, small, short, tall, and I would know the colour of their hair,
Yeah.
if they wore glasses, if they had false teeth. I could feel it all because they were standing next to me in my aura. It was, I thought I was bee's knees. I was going straight to someone, and people were just looking at me and going,
How
wow,
would you know that?
how did you know he had a gold tooth? How did you know he had blue eyes? Because they were standing next to me in the aura. And I had that for about 6 months, and I thought I was wonderful. I thought I was the best medium ever, and I'd been on platform 8 months,
Yeah.
you know. And I went and done a demonstration in Portland, and I stood up, all cocky, thought, right, here we go. No one. I had nothing.
Yeah.
Spirit took it all away from me.
Yeah.
Not me being cocky or anything, because they're advancing you. So they took it all away, and I couldn't feel nothing. And I just put the thought up and said, well, help me. All these people are looking at me. And all I see was plasticine. I just got plasticine come just see.
Yeah.
Remember the old plasticine you
Yeah.
put apart, when you was a kid? And that's all. And I just turned around and said, oh, well, I'm sorry, everyone, but can anyone take plasticine? And a man sitting right at the back put his hand up and he went, I've been playing plasticine with my grandson today.
Yeah.
And I went, you could take plasticine. I see it. And he
Sure.
went, yeah. And as soon as he said it, they come in.
There.
And I went, oh, I've got a gentleman here, and done the message.
Yeah.
He stepped out. I had nothing again.
Exactly.
And I thought,
It's like your next link. What?
and so wasn't it? And then all of a sudden I see a red balloon. And they always say, whatever you say, what you see. So I went, I'm getting red balloons. Can anyone take red balloons? And everyone was looking at me. And I thought, well, red balloons. So now I'm thinking, my mind's coming in. The biggest thing, don't. And so I said, no one can take red balloons. So I thought, and then I just had that feeling. I went, whose birthday is it today? And someone else put their hand up and I went, we've got balloons. And said, oh yeah, I got red balloons. I went, happy birthday. And then all of a sudden, Nan coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, no, I got a grandmother. But I didn't see them. They didn't. It was in the head.
Yeah.
I had that feeling. But they wasn't as close as how I first started.
Yeah.
And Spirit changed you again. You get in a comfort zone where you think you get really good, and then they take it all away
Exactly.
and give you something else.
It's like they want you to further your gift, right? Because they're going to make it easy to start.
Yeah.
They're going to make you feel confident because you can
They
do better.
want you to work.
Okay, you've mastered the first bit. And of course you're going to be great at it, but
Yeah.
But you, Ian, were meant for more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this
absolutely.
Is the next...
You don't see it that way because you got.
It's frustrating. It's
when
doubtful.
they was coming into me and standing next to me, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was, it was so spot on, and you're going people. Then you get in a comfort zone and they take it all away, and because they're working on all your senses.
Mm-hmm.
And your taste, all of a sudden, I was getting loads of pictures, so I was working on my Claire's audience.
Yeah.
So I was doing my clairvoyance, sorry.
No, that's okay, yeah. There's so many
And then I went back to clairsentience, and I was getting all the feeling, as you see when I'm demonstrating, I get a lot of feelings, and when you get these feelings and you get these thoughts, and you've got to give it, even though the person sitting there says no, you've got to say to yourself, no, I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
And keep giving it. And then, because they're not thinking, they've got to remember, you've got a lot of people in spirit, and more than one might want to come and talk. And it happened tonight, if you see, and that's what I say. And sometimes I say I've got a gathering of people.
Yeah.
And then they start giving me, they're all coming in, and that's another way which has only started recently happening to me.
Yeah,
I'm getting groups of all different things coming.
You get a parade of people almost, right? We had
a
variety of people tonight. Yeah, I think the one gal, I can't remember, I think it started with her grandfather and then her mother, and then there was, hi, I'm Sheila. One out of nowhere. It's like, and then the whole family shows up, which is amazing.
They're all coming in, and and in the earlier days I used to get them thoughts, I would say thoughts because I never heard them them days, and go like, I've got a Terry, and people go no and whatever, and I'll say, I'll take Terry back, but they're not thinking, Terry is there, but he could have been an old neighbour or something and coming in.
Exactly.
So now you say like, well, I'm getting that Terry, you hold on to it because it'll come to you later.
Yeah.
And that happens so many times, especially when you demonstrate in churches and you go back 3 months, 4 months later, and the same person's there you've given a reading before, and they come up to you after and go, you gave me a reading last time, and I kept saying no to a few things, but afterwards, when I was going home, I went, oh God, I know what he was talking about now.
Exactly.
And so like, you always remember, spirit are right.
Yeah.
What you're getting, give, because you're not wrong. They're not giving. You're not just putting it out the air. You're not clutching at straws.
I really like the way you phrase that too. What you're getting, give, because
give.
You're right. It's
absolutely.
like,
say what you see.
Say what you see. Because again, we were like, oh, did I think of red balloons? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I thought of tomatoes. I don't know. It's like, say what you see. First thought, first intuition.
Absolutely. But that's how it works, because now when I see red balloons clearly, and I'm on stage, when I get red balloons, especially red balloons, if I get multicoloured balloons, it could be something different. But when I get a red balloon, so clear in my thought, and I'm with someone, I go, I've got to say happy birthday. And they go, my birthday tomorrow. It was my birthday yesterday. Yeah. Because it was so clear. That's your pictures, our spirit are working with you.
Yeah. They've
they're
assigned
giving you
a symbol.
They give you a symbol,
and
it's for you to keep it and remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's, I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Going back to, what we experienced tonight. So the Spiritualistic Church, is that what the name of it? I believe?
Spiritualist.
Yes. So they, like, I was kind of telling Allison and, the other gals at the church, that's not something that I've experienced, having such a community open and open to this and free. I mean, there's a donation, of course.
But
you give your 5
you haven't got to, it's
which
all,
is like, that's in my, again, this is hopefully, I hope that this is something that, what can be more present in the world, because I think, again, as people are starting to reawaken these gifts, it's where do I go to nurture it, and where do I go, because I mean, we can build a community and a coven, as we say, but it's where else can you find it? So what, I'm not able to attend a service this time, but what does a service look like?
A service is This was a night of mediumship. Now, service, because now spiritualism is classed as a religion.
Yes.
But we're not religion like any other religion because we're a religion of free will.
Yes.
Believe us or don't believe us. It's free will. It's entirely up to you. I hope you enjoyed you enjoyed yourself. Come again.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you you've got to come back. You've got to preach to God. We don't do that.
No.
You've got your own free will. If you've enjoyed yourself and you enjoyed what we do, come again. But we're not forcing nothing down you.
Yeah.
So, like, the service is the same. It's very similar to like what I've done tonight. Open with a prayer, and then I'll do an address. And when I do an address, I talk about spiritualism, give a little bit of philosophy for 10-15 minutes. I'm not a great one for. I'm a
you
man's
say
man.
that. I'm sure you're excellent. Yeah.
So what you're meant to do is talk about the 7 principles of spiritualism. Pick one of them, and then educate people about what the Holy Spirit's all about. I'm one of those. I just talk about life and what we do and enjoy life.
Exactly.
So I like raising the vibration, making people laugh and what. So I talk about my day-to-day things, what I've done.
That's
great. It's but because it's all part of it's all part of life.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need to tell you God was, a big king sitting on a crown and that, because he's not. He's just a wonderful energy.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's perfect. Yes, exactly.
So I talk about, being happy, enjoying yourself. And then they say when you do spiritualism, you should do an address for about 15 minutes. Well, mine lasts about 15 seconds because I just want to get on with your loved ones, want to talk to you.
Exactly.
So I just like doing the vibration, raising it, make people laugh, enjoy the time. Because, I've been to a service and seen the medium give an address for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, you think, how much more are going on?
Exactly.
You get agitated sitting in a chair for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching telly. So,
right.
Yeah. So,
it makes it a little bit more restrictive.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people come just for the philosophy.
Absolutely.
And love it.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But don't come to one of mine. I'm not going to do that. I just want to tell you your name's coming through. So, but that's me. And I don't take it away because I think the philosophy of spiritualism is wonderful. And the 7 principles and that, and the meanings of them are great.
Yeah.
But that's me. So anyway, going back to the address. So you do the address about spiritualism, and then you do healing, where after I've done my address, I sit down and Alison will get up, the president of the church, and they do talk about a bit of healing and whatever. And then we have a song, a bit of music, so everyone sings. Mine's always Spirit in the Sky.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's wherever I go, because it raises the vibration. I'll get up and I'll start singing it away.
That's a
and
wonderful feeling,
and
though.
Everyone starts laughing. And I do it for myself because it raises the vibe. I can't sing from life, but I'll shout out.
Yeah. But that's fantastic.
That's what it is. It's all energy. And if you can make that energy wonderful, the communication's so much better.
Yeah, we've kind of not focused on the word, but the feeling of wonderful the last few episodes of our podcast, because it is like an achieved level that people don't tend to push themselves to. They feel good. They might feel great, but like, when do we ever get to push ourselves to that state of feeling like wonderful? Like, what does wonderful feel like? When you compare it to the great, I feel great, but like, when I say the word and think of like my state of wonderful, it's like my chest and everything. It just is like you're on a cloud.
Wonderful is love.
Wonderful is love.
And that's describe love. So this gets me all the time. To feel that emotion of love. What's love? Now we can all say we love our partners, we love our mum and dad, we love cats, our dogs, we love life, but that feeling of love. What's that feeling of love?
Yeah.
Now, that emotion, a feeling of love, for me, my personal, for me,
Totally.
because don't get me wrong, I love everyone, love my children, because we do.
We do.
But the feeling of love for me could be completely different for other people. Is that emotion you get inside? The best way to put it is, because I'm a very sensitive person. I never used to be, but I am now. If you watch a film, right, and soppy film, and it's a wonderful film, and then they're a couple and they've got a child or whatever, and the child dies, and you start welling up, and you go, and you get all that emotion inside. You just want to bawl your eyes out, and
Burst.
you're like,
Literally
you don't want to show
burst.
anyone that you're going to cry, and you feel all that feel. To me, that's love.
That's love, exactly.
That is, that emotion what builds up, and you just want to burst open. But being a man, you don't want to show anyone.
Yeah.
That was a load of rubbish. But you want to just cry your eyes out. You just want to let that emotion, that is love.
Yeah.
That's my personal
I love
opinion.
it.
That is, that is you're letting out the love.
Yeah. That's excellent.
Yeah.
I know there's movies that I don't watch, that I will not watch because I will get that reaction.
Yeah.
But I also think that like sometimes we don't know how much or what love may feel like until it's lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We don't
Absolutely.
know what we have.
Until it's gone.
I mean, I love my husband, my children, my parents, my siblings, my friends. I love them, but it's until it's that like the loss. Typically permanent. Do you know what I mean? It's not a loss for now, or
now from our journey, because it's really hard when you become a medium, because your loved ones who you've lost, I know they're not dead.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to grieve. I do grieve, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But I know they're alive.
If
I know they're in a better place than us.
You're glad. I shouldn't say you're glad. You're never
Not
glad to see
glad,
anybody
no.
go. Suffering's ended.
Yeah,
pain. The chance to be in pain and to have suffering available. That's.
Don't get me wrong. This is only my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own opinions. Their free will. So, but for me, it's like when my dad passed, and that, I knew he was standing there with me. Like my brother, siblings and that were all upset, crying, whatever. But I couldn't. You got emotional.
Yes.
You went up for that 10 minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes. But then I know they're fine, they're better.
Yeah.
They're in a better place.
Exactly.
And it is hard, And it is hard, for myself to express myself to other people as well when they've lost people.
Yeah.
You try to comfort them the best you can, but in the back of my mind I know they're fine. And it is really, really hard. And I could come across, what's the word, like people might look at you and say you don't care.
You're heartless if you don't show or
that,
don't react the way that everybody else is reacting.
Absolutely.
When again you've been blessed or cursed sometimes with a gift like this.
So don't get me wrong, mediumship's a wonderful life to do, but it has its downside as well. Yeah. And you've got to control that. Yeah. Because you say the wrong things when you don't mean as well.
No, exactly.
So.
It could, Now, because your dad has passed on and you've been able to, again, grieve it in your own way, completely, because grieving alone is already a personal experience, but now you've grieved it kind of alongside your father. You said he was right there with you, so I don't know if you had a chance to, if you were as open into sharing this gift when he was still here, because he's been gone, 4 years?
5 years. 5 years just gone. It was his funeral yesterday.
Oh my
5 years
goodness.
ago. Yeah.
Wow.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where's that gone? 5
exactly.
years.
Yeah. And so now that, again, like that time has flown, but for yourself, are you able to reach out to him when you need him, or
people say, it's really, really hard. It's just the same it's really hard to do readings for your siblings.
Yes. Because you know too much.
You know too much. Your mind will just keep jumping in, you know. But, with... my granddad works with me a lot. 'Cause my granddad passed with throat cancer.
Yes.
And and I believe he's one of my guides, because when I work, I start coughing a little bit, and I know he's because I start coughing a bit, and I know it's not the person who I'm giving a message to. I know it's granddad's bringing them in, so I do a little cough, and I know granddad's bringing this person in. So Dad's been through a couple of times, and it was amazing. I was sitting in the chair there.
Yeah.
A couple of months after he had passed, and Ruby was down in front of the fire, and I was on my own. Nicola and everyone was in bed, and I was sitting there just gazing at the telly, but in my own thought. And as clear as day, he came and stood next to me and went, and done his cough.
Yes.
And Ruby just stood up and stared at the door.
Yeah.
And I went, "It's all right, Ruby."
I actually got
the chills there. He coughed so, and it was another. You know, in the energy for him to do that. And I went, "Hello, Dad."
You're right, exactly. Like the energy that they have to spare just so that you and Ruby, dogs
to
are...
jump up,
exactly.
and just stare. Yeah, so that was a couple of months after he passed, and that was pretty amazing. That's
really nice. Yeah, to keep them, I don't want to say in your back pocket, but I mean, their spirit is always there to help, and your loved ones are literally beside you.
Yeah,
it's just
all the time.
And talk to them, right? Just like converse with them like we're talking right now.
As we're talking, just talk to them in your head, because they can hear every word you say.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as you get the power of prayer, it's amazing. I didn't realise this, but the power of prayer is absolutely amazing. And your loved ones are always with you. I know that. Not everyone knows that, but you know, believe in yourself. They are. And as soon as you think of them, they're there.
Yeah.
You're not there 24/7, but as soon as you think of them, they're there. And they're listening to you. Yeah. So talk to them as if, you know, in the next room.
Yeah.
You know, it's a wonderful thing talking about Dad. When I was a young boy, he used to work away on the lorries and go away. And so, like, when we went to bed, Mum used to take us out into the garden and say, "Look at the moon, Dad's up there." And so, because he'd be a long distance, he'd be away 4 days. Yeah. We wouldn't see him for a day. So we used to always look at the moon when we went to bed. Dad's up there, night, Dad.
Night, Dad.
And then wake up in the morning and he was home.
Exactly.
Dad's back from the moon.
He's back from the moon.
So then I look at it now, what a wonderful way, Dad's up on the moon. Everything there, you know.
What a nice
when I pass over, I'll be up on the moon with Dad.
You'll be up on the moon with Dad, exactly.
You know,
but that is so right, because it gives, you know, your children, your grandchildren, and future great-grandchildren, you know, because they will come eventually, you never know, right, years and whatever from now. But it is nice to say, you know...
it's a wonderful thought. I say, going back to meditation.
Oh, yes.
Because if anyone really wants to get into this, you have to go with your eyes open and that, because meditation, for me, is the key. It's calming your mind, and you need patience. The biggest thing you need is patience and trust.
Yes.
And I sat for a whole year and thinking nothing happens. Yeah. And it does.
The fact that you've done it a whole year without seeing, because again, we are people who need to see progress, right?
Progress, yeah.
We need to see that whatever we're doing is working. So you're right, like, so sitting there and committing to your 1 hour a night. Yeah. You know,
just doing it, working with spirit, just telling them, do your little prayer when you sit down for meditate. Tell them what you want to do. I really want to work for God and become a medium. Yeah. Not a psychic, because there's a difference.
There's a difference.
Yeah, I really want to become a medium. I want to work for God. Please work with me. Do your prayer, bless the world, and then just sit and focus on your breathing, and just don't rush anything. Start with 20 minutes a night.
You're right.
I went straight in and done an hour.
I mean, but I get that. I think that's like a Wilson thing, really. I'm going to do the damn thing.
Yeah, because that was, to say, I was interested in it from when I was 35 and done nothing up until 2015.
Yeah. So it was like,
you know,
I've gone 35 years of my life. That's some time to catch up for.
Yeah.
So it's taken you a year. It could have taken you 3 years if you hadn't done it. Not saying that you need to do that, people, but no, that's... Yeah, no, that's very true.
And once you start getting into that silence, you think you're getting nothing, but spirit are actually working with you.
Yeah.
Now, this is very important because when you meditate, when you first start meditating, everything goes through your mind.
Yeah.
Now, you must say, I want to work with spirit when you first start, 20 minutes. Say, right, 20 minutes. Just focus for however you want to work, with a candle, with soft music, with a CD, talking of meditation, whatever feels comfortable for you, as long as you can start calming your mind. Have 20 minutes, say to spirit, I want 20 minutes, and keep to it. Then build it up. Give it a few months, whatever, say a few weeks, whatever. I want 30 minutes. Keep to it. 45 minutes, keep it, but always work with spirit. Always tell them, so they know when to come in. You're going to sit down at 7 o'clock. I'm going to sit down for 20 minutes from 7 o'clock to 7:30, whatever, 20 past 7. I tell them so then they know when to come in and work with you. Yeah. So keep to it, and then keep that. Now, after a period of time, everything goes through your mind. At first, it will do. Over the weeks, that starts calming down. You start sitting down, you start automatically getting into a routine, like looking at the candle, feeling your breathing, feeling your body relaxing. Yeah. You start feeling that. Then eventually, over a period of time, you feel like you've gone to sleep. This is where it's important that you say to spirit, I want me hour, me half hour. Because you start going through your routine, and then you'll be gone. You think you're falling asleep, but you'll open your eyes exactly half hour or 20 minutes because spirit are working with you. The source is coming through and working with you. But you've gone through your candle and that over so long, it comes automatic. And then what spirit do is they take you. And the source, as we say,
on you, they're tinkering with you.
Because you're becoming one, and you don't realise it. But that's what's important, because if you start overdoing it, they wake you up and you jump.
Yes. Hello, my people. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I don't know. That was kind of a wild ride. Wild whole in terms of chilling kind of stuff. Anyways, one thing, as I was listening back to the episode, I really kind of appreciated, the fact that he was willing to go into gaining his gift and then kind of beginning to be challenged by spirit and, trying to enhance that. I thought that was really special. And I think that's a really good reminder, though, even though we kind of go through ebbs and flows with some of our spiritual gifts, you're not losing it. You're only growing when it starts to alter itself, which is kind of nice because your gift will never be stagnant. It will never be the same as it was yesterday. It will only be progressing. So anywho, I thought that was neat. So I do have more of my time with Ian. It is, it's kind of one of those episodes where you might just have to chill and listen. You know what I mean? So I'm going to leave it there for today. I will have a part 2, that I'll release a little later on. Just, let's just see how we're doing. Let's see what, touch base with yourselves, and yeah, that's all we can really do. Anyways, I think that's all I got. We got some exciting stuff coming up, but if you've got any questions or, any questions for Ian, I do have him at my disposal if I need to. If you have anything specific you want to ask. And I think in part 2, I'll go into a little bit of the stories of, my experiences with him, because he is, fun fact, predicted both of my pregnancies as well as both of my, the genders accurately. So yeah, anywho, very exciting stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and we will have something exciting for you soon. Have a great day, guys. Love you.